December 8th rundown, action-packed rundown. First of all, how'd you do in Vegas, Big Cat?
I didn't lose everything.
All right, well then that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost, but it was like not. I didn't, take out all the money out of my savings account, which I don't even have money in my savings account. So I didn't totally lose everything.
All right, no, that's a win. Let's start with the NFL rundown. A couple things that you can throw in there. Obviously, Johnny Football not getting in. The muttering of Johnny Football saying I would have fucking hit that guy. The Patriots, I won our mortal lock off, which everyone knew that was going to happen because the Patriots are the Patriots. Steve Smith, Mike Pereira. We'll start with you, KFC. The Jets, they stink still.
They're just terrible. They're irrelevant now, which is like the worst part of all. Like they're not bad enough to be like in #1 pick contention. They're certainly not good enough to actually contend on a weekly basis. I didn't even watching that game yesterday. I could not care less about the fucking Vikings Jets. And when they lost on that 87 whatever yard touchdown, I was just like, all right, next. Like let's watch this next game. Give me another beer. Give me some more fucking nachos. That's the life of a Jets fan.
Big Cat.
I feel like RG3. Like I want to go punt balls to myself.
We got that later. I mean, that's its own subject that has to be talked about.
Yeah, that has to be talked about. The Redskins, as a whole, taking out RG3, I said in the rewind, I think they are the most depressing franchise in all of sports now. Just with they stink and they have no hope whatsoever. I watched the entire NFL Sunday at the sportsbook in Vegas because I was dumb enough to think that I'll just take the 9 p.m. flight back home, which was a stupid decision. But anyway, I was sitting behind a bunch of Browns fans. And that's really the story. That was such a Cleveland loss. They were winning the whole game. Hoyer stunk, and I think they should put in Manziel, but they were winning the whole game. Then the final drive, the Colts, pass interference, Andrew Luck making Andrew Luck plays where he's scrambling, fourth downs, this, that. Then they lose at the last second. Just so depressing.
Yeah, the Browns and the Bengals are like kind of the same team. Like, and I mean this in the sense, like they're having okay years, but they're terrible franchises, and when push comes to shove, they're going to lose every time they need a big game. For me, this was all about, again, my New England Patriots. It's a broken record, but I don't know how else to do it. It's just, this is what they do. They don't lose 2 games in a row. The Chargers played a very good game. Chargers may have beaten every other team in the NFL last night. Their defense was flying around, making plays, but it's just, the Patriots are that good where if they need to win a game, they need to win a game. The Brandon Browner hit, thank God for all the NFL that didn't come into it, because you have to review those plays. That has to be a change that is made next year, because I get what the refs are doing. It happens so quickly, and if a guy looks like he just got his head taken off and falls awkwardly, they throw the flag. But then you watch the replay, and that's exactly the type of hit the NFL really should be wanting. Like, he got his head out of there, hit him on the shoulder. What? What do you want to say about that, Big?
No, I was going to say that a lot of people last night were blaming the refs. I don't think you can ever blame the refs in that situation because he got smoked. And in a bang-bang play like that, and his head went back, you have to throw – I agree that they should be reviewable and you should be able to go back, but I also think that it should be a flag and then go back and look and see if you can reverse it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You cannot blame the refs there. I just saw a lot of people blaming the refs and saying this is the pussification of the NFL. The refs are in a no-win position in that case.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I see some people who are still saying it's an illegal hit, and they got to get rid of those type of hits, which is lunacy. Like he was a defenseless receiver, blah blah blah. Well, it's not. It's not Browner's fault. He was bobbling the football for 10 minutes. And if you can't hit him in the shoulder pad, where the fuck can you hit him? So
anytime you're coming across the middle, you're always going to be somewhat vulnerable. Like where do you draw the line on defenses,
Yeah, so that was a problem. Speaking with the refs, what are your thoughts on Mike Pereira? So we had that fist bump thing in the Denver game, and people are freaking out, and who knows? The refs may fist bump for Peyton Manning because they love sucking his dick. But Pereira gives this interview. I think you're right, Big Cat. Looked like he was in the champagne room.
I'm amazed at people on Twitter who love to chat when they don't know what they're talking about. I'm even more amazed when people in the media write things that have no basis or merit to be written. And we're talking here about 3 minutes to go in the second quarter of the Denver game when Anderson goes up the middle. He goes in a bunch of bodies. The line judge can't see the ball. So the umpire comes in, looks to see where Anderson is, gives a thumbs up to the line judge to indicate that he's broke the plane. Then the line judge signals touchdown. Perfect mechanics. So what does the line judge do? He gives a fist bump to the umpire, thanking him for the information to make the right call.
I actually loved it. It made me love Pereira. He's the only ref. I hate Mike Carey. Mike Carey's the absolute worst. That play that they're talking about in the Kansas City game with the Kelsey, where everyone's like, it wasn't a fumble. It was a fumble. I saw the ball come out. I hate Mike Carey's wrong 1,000% of the time. Back to Pereira. What are we thinking about Pereira? You a fan?
It was like he was cutting a WWF promo. He had the mic like The Rock and was talking shit to the fans and people on Twitter. It was like a wrestler.
It was great. I'm actually going to do the rest of the rundown in Pereira mode. It actually is very comfortable.
I agree almost with everything Pereira says. He makes sense to me, whereas Carey's just a fucking moron. All right.
Carey also has to.
All right. That microphone is 1,000 times too close to your mouth, and it's creating.
Hey, this is Mike Pereira mode. Don't mess with it.
Yeah, but we can't hear you.
Sounds like
we got the audio guy will do the levels.
No.
Out of Pereira mode.
Un-Pereira. So that's the NFL. Do you guys, any thoughts on the greatness of the Patriots before we move on?
Those two stats, the one about the 2-game losing streak, and I think it was 12 straight 10-win seasons. I can't even wrap my fucking head around numbers like that. 10 wins for 12 fucking years. That's like Feidelberg's entire adult life. They've never won less than 10 games. That's sick.
My only question to you, Dave, because the Patriots, in my mind, they are the best team in the NFL right now. But they're winning with their defense. And Brady still wasn't that great last night. And the punter going out for the Chargers kind of changed. He flipped the whole game for a while there because the Patriots kept on getting it midfield and not being able to score. So I'm just asking you, we see Peyton Manning. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Peyton Manning the last month has been, terrible.
Yeah, he can't throw it.
Terrible quarterback. I'm just wondering if you think maybe there's a little bit of age creeping in with Brady because he hasn't been, perfect either.
Yeah, no, and I wrote this in the rundown. Here's the thing with Brady, and it's kind of been this way forever. These analysts act like they have great insight. How do you stop Brady? Get pressure on him. Gee, thanks. If you get pressure on Tom Brady, he's not mobile and he makes mistakes or can. Now, the thing that I think Brady, and this is speaking honestly, the first three Patriots Super Bowls, granted the one they beat Carolina turned into a total shootout, but Brady was never asked to win games. We had great defenses, manage games, make plays when they're there, and don't be afraid to punt. I need him to have that mindset. You can't make the throw he made that got picked off. You got to take 3 and go there because the Patriots defense is good enough to win the Super Bowl. So that has to be the mindset of Brady. He's a superstar, and I think early years he wasn't a superstar, and so there wasn't the pressure and the mystique. I just can't have him be like, I gotta match Aaron Rodgers and make all these great plays because you're not Aaron Rodgers right now. Just let our defense win the game and manage it for us. That's what I need him to do.
I also think that comes down to McDaniels as well because I feel like it's partly on him where he becomes whatever year they broke the records, McDaniels, and he's trying to throw it deep and stuff. The Patriots should be like a power running, defensive oriented team right now. That's what they are, and if they do that, I agree. I don't think it's gonna be tough for anyone to beat them.
Right, the last third quarter of the Packers in this game, we're going 3 and out every 2 seconds, throwing the ball. I have no problem going 3 and out, running the ball a little bit. So I agree with you to a degree. But I think our defense is that good, so we're an overall team.
That was the most logical and level-headed I've ever heard you speak about the Patriots.
Yeah, See, we like that, Dave.
This is what drives me bananas about you guys, though. I'm always logical and level-headed. It's just we've had years where our offense was off the chart. Go reread what I've said. I change with my eyeballs. I hate people who say we're homers. We're not homers. When the Celtics suck, we say it. When the Bruins play that game, the puck game there, people say it. When the Red Sox suck, we say it. The Patriots happen to be the greatest franchise in the last 15 years, so there's not much to nitpick, but we're honest, so it's not level-headed. That stat, KFC, that we just showed, they've had 4 two-game losing streaks in 11 years, so they're doing shit right.
Now you're going back off the rails. All I wanted to say is that you admitting that Brady is now almost a game-managing quarterback, that was something you normally would never, ever say.
That's not true. You haven't paid attention to anything I say. You sit there. This is what they do. You don't listen or you don't read. I've been on saying that for Brady forever, for 3 or 4 years now. You just sit there and you wallow in your Jets' pity. You don't listen to what I say.
Yeah, no argument there.
College football, couple things. We got to talk the Final Four. Before we get into that, Big Cat, what was that? 59-0? That was that was so bad. That was so bad. People are legitimately saying Wisconsin tanked the game to get a Big Ten team into the championship.
That was, first of all, I don't know what it is, but this is the year, like, whenever any of my football teams show up for a big-time game, it's like run for the hills. That was Packers Bears, that was Packers Patriots, that was all of it rolled up into one. Yeah, they really, 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 really sucked. We were talking in the pre-show here that it as bad as that loss was, it was almost better than a heartbreaker because, at least for me, by the second quarter, I was like, there's no way the Badgers are doing anything. I just started getting, violently drunk. So that was a good way to deal with it, I guess. But yeah, Ohio State should really send us like a present or something.
KFC?
I was checking your Twitter like midway through the game, and I went back to the beginning when it was all, "Dear Ohio State, your tears are going to taste delicious," and I mean, that backfired pretty damn quick, Dan.
I dug myself one of the all-time holes. Not only that, but I said 2 weeks ago that Ohio State had no chance to go in the Final Four. Before the game, I said, the only thing I hope tonight is that we don't give Urban Meyer a real heart attack, not one of his stupid fake ones. Like, I said basically everything that could be thrown back in my face. And that's all I got for Ohio State fans for 4 hours.
That was, I did not. I thought Ohio State would win that game. I said I was with Gaz. We were trying to see. Oh, we'll talk about that post show. I went to see fucking Macaulay Culkin, Pizza Underground, to try to get him to a pizza review. That failed miserably. We'll talk about that later. But I not a million. Ohio State was the play because of the quarterback. It was a death game. They were wearing the guy's jersey, so it had all the makings of Ohio State winning that. But I didn't see that in a million years. Quickly, the Final Four. I don't have much to say about it. I'm fine with it. I think the Big 12, you have those two teams almost crossing each other out. So what are you going to do there? The only problem I would have had with that would have been if TCU somehow got over Baylor. But Ohio State winning that game, that was the most impressive win to me the whole season. Like, I think Wisconsin's a pretty good team. So they catapulted. I can't wait for these games. I think they're all going to be great games. So I'm pretty excited for it. That's all I got on that.
And it's exactly what it should be. The Big 12 if the Big 12 had a championship game, they would have a legitimate gripe. But they don't, so they picked the 4 champions. And that's what it really should be. It should be the 4 champions.
Yeah. I think maybe if they announced the winner, then if they came out and said Baylor's our champion without the title game, I think Baylor goes, or vice versa, TCU. But when you say we have 2 teams, you can't take them both. It was an easy out for the committee, really. All right, next up, CM Punk is now in the UFC. I threw out like a quick tweet about this, saying it was, basically just a publicity stunt. I had guys who play with action figures and Nate coming out of the woodwork being like, oh, you don't think he can win a UFC fight? He trains with Renee Gracie, the Gracie family. What are people talking about? This, I didn't know they did this in the UFC. I didn't know they did like publicity stunts like Vince McMahon, but that is all this is. If anyone thinks this is anything other than just let's make some money and create headlines and kind of have a fake match, you're crazy. KFC?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I feel like the UFC is kind of like struggling. They're going to sell some pay-per-views out of it. I don't think that there's like no chance he could ever be. I don't know enough about the technical aspects of fighting, but he obviously is like a good athlete. He's in good shape. I think if he does train, he could become and learn how to fight. I don't think he's just going to like transition like no problem though, you know?
Big cat. It really comes down to one thing with this. Obviously, it's for pay-per-views, and that's just Dana White running a business. Like no one should begrudge him for that. No one should say that, oh, it's just such silly publicity stunt. I mean, it's him doing business. He's doing a great job at selling his product. I do think CM Punk will be successful as long as he doesn't fight one of those wrestler guys, because that's really what it comes down to. Like if they put him up against a guy who's more of a stand-up fighter, he could probably win. But when he goes up against these guys who've been wrestling for 30 years and know all these like tap outs and shit, that's where I think the technical aspect of UFC, he'll never ever be able to catch up.
When you say like he may be able to win versus like a guy who stands up, do you mean a tomato can who stands up like the guy Mickey Rourke fought? Or are you saying like a real UFC fighter?
I'm saying a real UFC fighter.
No chance.
No chance.
Those guys don't have superior boxing skills. The guys that like don't do anything great, first of all, they're going to put him in a position to win.
Well, that's what I mean. He's going to fight a tomato can who's like maybe me.
I'm just saying I wouldn't to just totally throw CM Punk out is a little crazy because he's clearly athletic and he has the drive. I mean, you can't say that professional wrestlers aren't athletic.
Yeah, but I don't care if you're athletic. That's like, do you think he could win a professional boxing match if he trained for a year?
No, but I don't think any UFC fighter could win a professional boxing match.
But you're not going to win a UFC. The same holds true. These guys, the UFC is around long enough now. These are lifelong people who have been training this sport for decades.
But that's what I'm saying. You see exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying if he has to fight in a UFC match where they stand up and the guy doesn't have great boxing skills and they're kicking and do that shit, I think he has a chance. If they get on the ground, that's where the UFC guys shine. Just like boxing guys shine with their hand speed.
Yeah, but the problem you have with your logic is if you are really a UFC guy and you're not one of those wrestlers, that means you're pretty fucking good with your hands.
Yeah, I do. I just think that he's going to have – I wouldn't throw him out like you're throwing him out.
Oh, I just think just to say someone's a decent athlete and you can throw him in there with trained professionals who do this for a living. He's not going to fight anybody who's remotely – trained in this sport or halfway decent, or else it would literally be murder.
His jiu-jitsu skills, though.
Yeah, but the people people are just saying that. It's like, I could go train for jiu-jitsu. What does that mean?
Everyone is throwing that out there like that means he's like the fucking karate master.
Yeah, it's like he trains. So fucking what?
I'm in the middle on that. I just think the wrestling guys who are crazy and saying he's going to be awesome they're out of their mind. But people like you are just throwing him out. I think he'll be okay. I think he might be able to beat someone halfway decent.
I think that is bananas. This was one of my favorite videos, by the way. These are always my favorite. For some reason, these get to me. Like, this is my type of video. It's just such a real-life moment. You got this guy, Tommy, who is clearly mad. His drunk friend just broke something, and he's, like, sweeping it up in the kitchen, and he's mad. He's mad that he tried to settle this guy down. He tried to get him out of the house. He's breaking shit. He's off his rocker drunk, and then his buddies tell him to relax, which gets him more mad, and then perfect timing, the drunk guy just crashes headfirst into the door and then accuses Tommy of pushing him down. And Tommy doesn't think this is funny at all. He's dead serious. He's mad. He's mad at everybody. I laughed out loud. I watched it 100 times.
Dude, they suck.
I booze up and I get loud. That's about it. I don't fucking shit up, dude.
Alright, Tommy, enough.
What the fuck are you doing?
Dude,
He can't handle himself? For Christ's sake.
Yo, fuck, yeah.
Oh, he's too fucked up to fucking handle himself.
Yeah, Tommy, just relax.
Jake, the fact that you think I'm not relaxed. Oh, you do that. Is that enough for you?
Yeah.
So should you take him outside now?
Stop this, dude. Tommy, stop it. Tommy, stop this.
Dude, I didn't hit you when you fell. You fell by yourself.
Yes, you did, dude. Stop.
This Big Cat, what do you got on this?
You said it perfectly. Everyone's got a friend like that. The guy who gets too drunk and like he'll fall or he'll do something and then he'll look at everyone like, "Why'd you trip me?" And everyone's standing around. If you haven't lived that moment, you didn't go to college or you have no friends.
KFC.
That guy's fall was incredible. I don't even know. Like the first initial fall, his body, like his legs they just give up. Like gravity just won the battle, and he just like whips forward. And then the noise. It was all just the perfect fall, the perfect scenery all together. It all came together perfect.
And that guy was like probably concussed when he's like, "Tommy, why'd you push me?" or whatever. He's like, "I didn't fucking push you, dude. I was standing here." Also, you're not a guy. If you're one of my friends, you want to get under my skin, is telling me to relax when I'm mad. Like that will drive me bananas 1,000% of the time.
Telling you to relax and videotaping you and saying relax.
Yeah.
Like I would lose my mind.
This is the saddest story in the history of the internet, maybe the world. RG3, it's so sad, I actually started researching it because I'm like, this can't be real. RG3 is punting to himself on the Redskins practice field and then running after his punts and just punting the other way. So he's just punting, chasing by himself. KFC?
Pathetic, rock bottom. The dude needs like therapy. Like forget about him as like a athlete, like a professional athlete. He's like a broken person. He's like an emotional train wreck as a human. The tweets that he's like a 15-year-old girl. He's always trying to be like motivational and always fucking depressed. And punting the balls to yourself is the saddest thing I've ever heard of. Like that guy, his career might be done. He might be so fucked in the head emotionally, it might be a wrap for him.
Big Cat?
I've just never seen or heard of like a bigger cry for help. The worst part about it is, I don't know if you read the part where it said that the whole team was like showering after practice and like getting ready to go, and that was like, so the whole team was in the locker room, and then he was doing that while they were in the locker room. He's just like he probably is walking around the Redskins facility like just sighing in people's ears, so they'll be like, "What's wrong, Robert?" And he'll just be like, "Oh, nothing." Like just looking for people to ask him how he's doing and what's wrong with him.
I mean, I gasped when I saw that. I couldn't believe it could be true. Hank actually told me the only thing I thought it was the saddest story. Hank comes up, he's like, it reminds me of my baseball team. Some kid didn't make his high school baseball team, and he used to play wall ball to himself outside while they practice, like right outside of the practice. That was the only thing that I could compare to that in sadness.
If the Onion wrote this though, it would make perfect. Like this is an Onion article.
I researched it thinking that's what it was. That was from a fake website. This was a story. So a woman is at the Lions game and sees a guy like texting with a girl, and he's with a pregnant wife. She leaves him a note. I don't even know if this thing's real. Feidelberg wrote it. It says chive on at the bottom, which I just want to say, it is a very chive. That is such a chive thing to do, to send like a tweet. We've had people who don't know Barstool or the chive or whatever, and all the time they say, what's the difference between the people who read it? And this is kind of it. It's like the chive, I think, are people who were picked on and never really belong to a group and don't like saying put downs, and everyone's friendly and they need to be part of a community, where our people are just generally assholes. Like, I think that's a fair way to look at the difference between the two websites. What do you guys got on this story, KFC?
You can't get involved in that shit. I don't ever get involved in anybody's business like that. You don't know what the deal is. You don't know who that guy is or who Jason is. The guy she's with might be a fucking scumbag, and Jason might be the knight in shining armor. You don't know any of the background around that. you don't get involved with anybody's shit relationship-wise ever. Just stick to yourself. Leave it alone.
Big Cat.
Simply put, if the guy who's getting cheated on is going to stick with his wife or girlfriend through that bowl haircut that she has, he's probably staying around when she cheats on him too. So really just stay out of it. Those two are stuck in misery forever. And Lions fans, like, that's just stay out of the whole thing.
I'm with KFC. I have a rule, just don't help people. Like, helping people can only get you in trouble. So I just don't do it. Joseph Fourier, the second athlete, took to Twitter, quickly deleted it. His girlfriend cheated on him with Russell Wilson. Fourier, by the way, is a stoolie, I think. We've talked to him in the past. I have. He posted a picture of his dog. Super cute. What do you got here, Big Cat?
Weird situation because Golden Tate seems like the common thread here. And Golden Tate, it's alleged that Golden Tate slept with Russell Wilson's wife in Seattle, and then that's why he left. And like, so I don't know if it's actually happened or whatnot. It could totally be Golden Tate just like putting shit in his ear. But at the end of the day, we've said this before with the Brennan Clay, just don't bring it on Twitter. If it is true, I don't think there's one person in the world that is worse for your girlfriend to cheat on with than Russell Wilson, because he's such a fucking cheese dick and he's everywhere. You open your eyes and Russell Wilson's trying to fucking sell you insurance with his like really soft whispering voice and like, hey, this is how you become a Super Bowl MVP. You got to work hard. You got to invest in your insurance plan, your family. And I just want to fucking I used to like Russell Wilson, but I fucking hate him now. So if this is true, Fourier just needs to throw all his TVs in the trash.
KFC.
I was trying to compare the two to decide whether it's worse if your wife fucks a guy named DeMarco, like a big, black, flashy, cocky black dude, or a fucking dork like Russell Wilson. And I think I would rather my wife just get like plowed by a guy named DeMarco than just some fucking, like you said, cheese dick. But as far as the Twitter stuff, like, I mean, Brennan Clay started tweeting back at him like, women, am I right? It's pathetic. It was like chicks sitting around talking about their boyfriends, hurting their feelings, except it's flipped. And they're professional athletes. I just don't understand why they think it's cool or the right way to handle it, to air it out.
I got a couple different takes on this. First, Brennan Clay's Gina D'Agostino. I'm in love with her. Like, that video of her dancing in the club, the fact she's out now 24/7, the fact that, she's like, oh, you want to fuck me in my bed? Okay. Like, I'm all in on this dirty little slut. Love her. Give me more Gina D'Agostino. Get her on Twitter. Let us communicate. I want her in my world. As far as the difference here, I actually don't hate Fourier tweeting this, because the Brennan Clay thing, DeMarco Murray does not give a fuck if you say that he fucked his wife. He's probably like, yeah, fucking right, I did, like I did on your bed. I think Russell Wilson is so image conscious that he actually may be like, uh-oh. Like, he probably called an emergency PR meeting and have like 3,000 people. So Fourier maybe doesn't care, just like, hey, this guy's a fucking fraud. So I can maybe understand that tweet. Why you delete it, not sure. But I think there's the difference. Brennan Clay comes across as pathetic. Fourier not as much to me, because again, I'm more like Russell Wilson, you little bully you. Remember, he says he's not a bully, he's sleeping with wives, so I can get that. Next up, I didn't see this. KFC, did either of you guys see this? Because I didn't see you tweeting at KFC. I know you were flying. I was watching the Patriots. I recapped it, the snake eaten alive. I've read all the reviews. KFC, what do you got on this?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it. Once we found out that it was pre-recorded, and obviously the guy was still alive, and there was really no mention of anything going down, I lost interest in it. You got to do that live, period. And I knew it was going to be one of those things like they do it with the tightrope walker too, where the show is like 4 hours long, and it's only the last like 10 seconds that you really want to see. So I actually didn't even end up watching it.
Big Cat?
I caught the tail end on the plane with some shitty Wi-Fi, but I will say this. Discovery Channel has to kill its next person. End of story. Like, if they don't kill the next guy who does one of these stupid stunts, they lose all respect in this weird, special world that they do, these things. So kill the next guy, and I'm back in. If you do this again, I'll never fucking watch anything you do again.
And I read it. I watched the YouTubes, everything. And it makes sense. Like, I'm almost mad at myself because we talked about this when we heard. It's like, how can you get eaten by a snake and still live? The answer is he didn't get eaten at all. Nothing. He didn't do it. It was just...
To tweet before it aired, he was saying how, like, he felt his limbs breaking and he knew it all went black and he was on the inside. And it's like, dude, that just never happened. You just flat out fucking lied. Yeah.
So I agree. Someone's going to die. Trent, our boy Trent, has gone like global with the tweet of the dog biting his finger. He's on today. I've been trying to get on this website, Delisted. Michael K is like my favorite writer. Before I even started Barstool, I was trying just to get him acknowledge me. He's got the Trent tweet up there, real gut shot. But yeah, Discovery, to quote Big Cat, somebody has to die or else, do they think this is a victory? Because everybody is talking about it.
I would say that this one is a victory. Because, like you said, everyone tweeted about it. It was trending. They got everyone watching Discovery. That's a victory. But this is the last one. Like, they duped. It's like they discover how badly they duped you last night. That's what the Discovery Channel was. So the next one, I'm just laying it out there. Discovery, you have a chance to totally redeem yourself. Just give me a dead body. I need one.
Last one, and you guys don't have to say much, but it's a video that has to be shared. Elton John had a tennis match. He goes just tumbling backwards in a chair. Laugh out loud. Funny. I mean, I don't know what you add to it. It's just Elton John going down. KFC?
What's perfect is that it's a Vine, and it's really short. So, like, I don't know what happened before it. I don't know what happened after. I don't know why the fuck Elton John was at a tennis match sitting there. But you don't need to know any of that. You don't want to know any of that. You just want to see him tumble back and just be like, Elton John just busted his shit, and you keep it moving. That's the perfect Vine.
Big Cat.
Where the hell is Elton John's, like, posse? That's what I want to know. Because I feel like this is, like, I don't know. I feel like Elton John rolls around with, like a big gay posse that, like, they'll figure out, like, they'll catch him and shit if he's gonna fall, if he's gonna hit the ground. His feet never touch the ground, kind of thing. It's like diva mode. He's a diva. This shouldn't be happening to divas. That's not diva behavior.
If everyone's probably fallen back on a chair, like you rock back, even when you don't fall and you catch yourself, the feeling of like, oh, I'm falling is a horrible feeling.
Terrible. It's terrifying.
To go all the way back like he did, that must have been one fucking trip, because he doesn't even, like, once he starts going, there's no struggle to stop. He's just straight over. So that the pit in his stomach when that happened must have been, roller coaster times 1,000. All right, so that's the rundown. Yeah, so I was trying to do a pizza thing with McCulkey because he was out in Brighton at this little dive. So Gaz and I went. We did a pizza review. Next door, I smuggled like a slice in my jacket, and then went like up to the stage and was waiting for him. And when he came out, I just started screaming like. First of all, we tried to set this up with this publicist, with him, with everybody. Like, can we do a pizza review? Because they say the Pizza Underground. Like, we just want to taste pizza with McCulkey. They wouldn't do it. They changed it like 10 times. They're like, he'll only talk about pizza. I'm like, that's all I want to talk about. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, well, you got to bring pizza for the entire band. Done. Then like, no, and no. They all had excuses. So I was like, whatever. I'll just go try to do it without, being introduced. It was really hard. Like, he came on stage so fast, I just was screaming at him, like, one bite, like, taste my pizza. I just had the slice, like, out. I took it out of my jacket.
You ambush pizza reviewed McCulkey Culkin?
I tried to, but I couldn't get his attention. He ended up being on the other side of the stage. They brought pizza for the audience. They like passed out pizza, but they didn't eat it.
What is the audience like at this? Like, what kind of people are going to these shows?
It was an eclectic mix. It was weird. It was. I mean, no, a couple people were like, "Hey, Prez, what's up? You trying to do a pizza review with McCulkey?" I was like, "Yeah."
Did you stay for the show?
No. Once we realized that we couldn't get the review, we left. They passed out the pizza. It was weird. They didn't buy nearly enough pizza for the crowd. He's like, everyone can take one bite or lick it and pass it back. It's like kind of disrespectful to pizza.
Yeah. Fuck that. Do they play real music, or is it all like pizza music?
Pizza music.
What do you mean pizza music?
They were singing songs about pizza.
Like children's songs?
It was their own original music about pizza.
All about pizza?
All about pizza.
Why aren't you in this band?
You gotta get featured on a track, at least.
Yeah.
Underground featuring El Presidente.
They're frauds. They're frauds because
Whoa. You're saying they're pizza frauds?
That is slander right there. You better watch out.
No, it isn't. Listen, I fancy myself a pizza man, and if someone said, "Hey, can I come have you taste this pizza?" Yeah, fucking right. That was my whole interview. I want to do pizza. You call yourself the Pizza Underground, and the most prominent pizza man in the Northeast is coming to you, and you won't.
I think that's the problem. I think you're overestimating yourself as the most prominent pizza man in the Northeast. I think McCulkey thinks that he's that guy, and you're not even on his pizza radar.
Is McCulkey even from the East Coast?
Whatever he's
not from anywhere. He's from La La Land.
Outer space, dude. He's from another galaxy. But he is the front man for the Pizza Underground.
He's not the front
Kevin
man.
McAllister with your very own cheese pizza. He is the pizza guy when it comes if it's you versus him. McCulkey Culkin is the superior pizza guy.
Well, but there's a lot of again, KSC, there's a lot of, that's like someone saying Ben Affleck or Maria Menounos is the voice of the Boston sports fan because they have a bigger name, but we're really the voice of the Boston sports fan. I'm really the pizza guy around here, not McCulkey.
No, I think that the guys like Menounos and Dane Cook and all them are frauds, but I think McCulkey Culkin has deep love for the pizza game.
McCulkey Culkin, they did not eat pizza. They're like, we can't eat it. They just passed it out.
All right, but hold on. It sounds to me like McCulkey Culkin has dropped everything in his life to just devote it to pizza.
No, I don't think McCulkey Culkin had anything else going on in his life. I think he's doing this for to have friends and something to do. And let me tell you something else, McCulkey Culkin. Their opening band was the same band.
What do you mean?
They had an opening band that played under a different name, and then it's like, okay, up next is the Pizza Underground, and the difference between the Pizza Underground and the opening band was McCulkey joined the Pizza Underground.
No, see, that makes sense to me. They're not he's the most important member. They're not about pizza until McCulkey comes in. It actually further solidifies him as the pizza guy.
Yeah, but he didn't even stand in the middle, McCulkey. He was all the way in the corner. He wasn't the center guy.
Does McCulkey sing or play guitar?
Sing.
Is he a good singer?
Nope.
It's all about that pizza.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that we've done this entire after show with Kevin and I saying McCulkey. You've now made it. That's his name.
I was screaming that at him too. I was like, McCulkey! Just with my pizza, just like this old piece of pizza just in the air. No one even asked.
That might be why. When you sit there and go to a man's concert and then scream the wrong name in his face?
I don't even think he heard. I couldn't get that close.
Why would he respect you enough to eat pizza with you if you're a groupie at the front row? McCulkey, please eat my pizza with me. You might as well throw your underwear on stage at him. You look like a fucking groupie.
Listen, what I know you guys are just disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing.
No.
I'm really not. I think you're overestimating yourself.
You played it wrong.
Okay. What do you mean I played it wrong? I had no other choice. I tried to do this professionally. They won't let me. Let me say this. If I was the Pizza Underground and I was a concert guy and somebody showed up in the front row with a fresh slice, 1,000% I taste that or eat it. If you call yourself a pizza man and somebody shows up with pizza, you take the fucking pizza.
Okay, but now let's just back up here. If you're McCulkey Culkin and you've lived the life that he's lived, don't you think you have a little different of a world view And, like, I mean, you got raped by Michael Jackson. Didn't you have a little thing with heroin? Like, weird shit. If people are shoving pizza in your face, I would be like, I don't know.
He was at the Brighton Music Hall. It fits 500 people. They had tickets left the day before. I could say I'm drawing pirate dogs and have that place sold out 2 weeks in advance.
Tickets. How much were tickets?
$18.
What you should have done is bought all the tickets and then just had a private concert.
That would have been awesome.
That was it. You Gaz, McCulkey, and a box of pizza.
I did. That was a mistake.
So maybe that's what you do. Find out where he's playing next and just buy all the tickets.
It was the last stop on the tour.
Ah, fuck. I'm sure you could buy McCulkey's band for like $1,000.
Probably not with McCulkey.
Yeah, you probably could just get the opening act.
You're underestimating McCulkey Culkin. He's the fucking superstar, man. He fucked Mila Kunis for like 2 decades. Doesn't care about Dave Portnoy shoving a dirty slice in his face coming out of his jacket.
They're the Pizza Underground. They're at the Brighton Music Hall. What aren't you getting about that?
I don't think he cares about you and your slice.
You should always care about the slice. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the pizza.
A little presumptuous of you, don't you think?
No.
Like, he brought his own pizza. He doesn't care about your slice. You can't care about every single slice every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry shoves in your face when you're McCulkey Culkin.
When you're at a concert and your gig is pizza and one guy in the crowd has brought a slice in the front row.
First guy to bring pizza to a Pizza Underground concert.
So are you saying, Dave, no matter what, under any circumstance, if someone puts a slice of pizza in your face, you're going to take a bite?
No.
Oh!
You're a hypocrite.
Wow.
No, if I throw a pizza...
If you were a true pizza man, you would.
At a pizza concert, yes. At a pizza concert, yes. Hey, you were with me. Dan, you were with me in Chicago. We walked in, checked in that hotel. They had pizza out front. I ate their pizza right on the spot.
But you asked for it, not the other way around. I'm saying if someone walked up to you and said, have this bite of pizza, there would be times where you would say no. So I have to defend McCulkey under.
Not if I was at a pizza event.
If he's out of, they got their own pizza to give out to the crowd. I'm sure there's just pizza galore at the Pizza Underground events.
You guys are missing like how concerts work.
Your one slice is not even on his radar, dude.
But it should be if I'm in the front row with it.
No, because you seem like a groupie. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you do. That's what you do with groupies. You appease your fans. What aren't you getting about that? What do you mean I seem like a groupie? I seem like a groupie. I was wearing a Pizza Underground t-shirt that I bought, and I had my slice.
Oh, whoa!
Trying too hard.
You wore the.
What?
You don't wear the shirt of the band you're going to see.
Yeah, you do.
You never seen PCU?
You're too much of a groupie. That's the thing. It's like
you're
too old.
You're tryhard.
Yeah.
You can't be too much of a groupie for the Pizza Underground.
Stop trying so hard.
All right, you guys are just.
You gotta be natural. You're not a natural.
Hey, Dave, relax.
I'm relaxed. It's just you guys are just being. You don't understand. You don't understand road life.
Relax. Relax. 5 letters. RELAX.
Oh no! Don't do that, Kevin.